This broadcast is brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC, and fueled by the following.
Flicka's Tax Service. With tax season just around the corner, visit Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville, Mississippi, providing expert knowledge on all returns from 1040EZs to corporations as well as payroll. Flicka's Tax Service. Call 601-785-6900. Southeastern Baptist College, empowering students to reach their spiritual, academic, and athletic potential. Discover the difference at your hometown college. Southeastern Baptist College, equipping the saints.
Having AC issues? Does your vehicle no longer drive like new? Head on over to Keys Automotive in Laurel. Keys Automotive specializes in repairing foreign and domestic vehicles. Keys Automotive, located at 623 Arco Lane in Laurel, or call Charles Keys at 601-649-0517.
Hey, this is Sam White, offensive lineman for the Northeast Jones Tigers. Thank you for listening to NEJ Tiger Talk, brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC.
And hello, Tiger fans. Thank you for logging on to the broadcast. NEJ Tiger Talk, brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC, and powered by Southeastern Baptist College and Keys Automotive in Laurel, as well as Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville. I'm the voice of the Northeast Jones Tigers, Kensley Keys, broadcasting live from Walker's Dairy Bar, the home of fresh food and friendly staff. Joining me on the show today, as I mentioned on social media, our surprise guest, former NEJ Tiger athlete and current NEJ principal, Joi Jones, and the Scenic Productions LLC Week 7 Player of the Game defensive end, Joi Jones. So how's it going today, guys?
Going pretty good.
Going good.
All right, that's always great to hear. Well, to start things off, Principal Patera, let's start with you. So what were your thoughts on the Tigers' overall performance against the Rangers?
I think the kids came out, played hard. They showed what their hard work this summer they've been doing. This was one of the first games where I felt like they kind of dominated the game. And that was a great way to start the district play.
Okay. And so, looking at last year's team and looking at this year's team, what difference do you see or have you seen that you feel has contributed to the Tigers' turnaround and growth?
I think our kids turned it around. They took last year's season as a motivation. You know, they only won one game last year. And this summer, just watching the kids come up to the school, work out, putting in the time with the coaches and just doing the extra stuff. I think that's the difference of why they're turning around the season this year.
Okay. And just for our listeners who aren't familiar with you and your background, you were actively involved with athletics during your days as a Tiger. Just give us a rundown of your history, like what sports you played, what position, the coach you played for, and your collegiate experience.
Most people in this area probably don't know me as Joi Jones. They know me as PT Jones. That was my nickname. One of my coaches, I say old coaches, but when I started out in elementary, Mike Licey gave me that name, PT. He said, "What's your name?" And I told him Patera. He said, "Well, we're going to call you PT." And they stuck with me. Okay. And so, but once I got to Northeast, I played football, I played basketball, baseball, and I ran track. And then from there, out of high school, I signed with Southern Miss. And then I got there and kind of came back to Jones, and then I went to our rivalry and finished out in Memphis. Oh. Yeah, so I know how that is. That's both the best worlds. So, but that's kind of my background. And once I got through with school, I continued on. I just finished with my doctorate degree, so at William Carey University, and I'm here in my Automotive doing what I love, being around kids and helping out in academics, and just trying to motivate them to be the best person they can be.
And yeah, that's always good when you have the background that you have, and then you take the experience that you have to come back and just be a good male role model and model citizen for our youth. I mean, that's something that's really needed, and it's something that you really don't see in males. So the fact that you're doing that and you love doing it, you take pride in doing it, and how I see you interact with our youth is just really, really inspiring. So I admire you for what you do, and just keep up the good work. And so, like myself, you were pretty much on the practice field every day during spring training, mentoring and offering guidance to the players. And after seeing the players battle to get better, did you ever think that the Tigers would be this much better than last season?
I do. I'm a big fan of them. At the same time, I'm always going to be trying to motivate them to do better, to be their best. And I know as kids, they take in that with the coaches, how they interact with the coaches and everything. And sometimes it just that outside influence can help them, and also the outside influence can hurt them too, whether it be positive. That's why I just try to be positive with them all the time. Try to let them know from a coach's perspective where your coach is coming from, and like you said, your coaches just want you to do good, and that's not only in football. They want you to do good in life, be a good citizen, and and bring your kids back here to play and everything, and keep building up the community in the Tiger land.
Exactly. Now, shifting the focus to Joi, now who was, for those who don't know, your son and one of the many playmakers on the Tigers defense. Talk about how you've seen Joi blossom as a player and to develop into the playmaker and leader that he is.
As a player, I think he's put in the work. He's worked hard, and I think that's going to show on the field, which is happening, showing the field for him. That's one thing he loves to do, work out. Sometimes I have to tell him, so you don't need to go work out. You're going to work out with your coaches and stuff like that. He want to do extra stuff at home, but sometimes you got to let your body rest and do that. But he's come a long way, because I can remember one point in time he did not want to play football. Because he's a great singer and he loves to sing. He does show choir. But now it's to the point that he really enjoys the sport, and he really gets out there. He does transform. Seeing him around the hallway, he's a real respectable kid. He's nice. He's nice to everybody. But when he put that helmet on, he totally changed. And that happens in the game. By the time he takes that helmet off and comes to the sideline, he has that big smile. He may be singing on the sideline sometime, but once he put that helmet on, he has an opponent. He's a lot to deal with.
That's great stuff. And the fact that you mentioned that he has a voice, he sings for show choir, and he has a voice, on the sideline. He's very vocal leader, but the fact that he's using his voice for positivity, that's a great thing, and that shows, he was raised right in a great family. I mean, that the bloodline of Jones goes a long way. I went to school with Jermaine. So I mean, he was a really young guy. I mean, he was never a guy that thought he was better than anybody else. Treated everybody the same, whether you were a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So it's great to hear that. Now you raise your son that way. Well, thank you, Principal Patera, for stepping in for Coach Bragg today and providing some great insight. We're going to step away for a moment, and when we return, we're going to hear from our Week 7 player of the game, defensive end Joi Jones. This broadcast is brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC, and fueled by the following.
Flicka's Tax Service. With tax season just around the corner, visit Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville, Mississippi, providing expert knowledge on all returns from 1040EZs to corporations as well as payroll. Flicka's Tax Service. Call 601-785-6900. Southeastern Baptist College, empowering students to reach their spiritual, academic, and athletic potential. Discover the difference at your hometown college. Southeastern Baptist College, equipping the saints.
Having AC issues? Does your vehicle no longer drive like new? Head on over to Keys Automotive in Laurel. Keys Automotive specializes in repairing foreign and domestic vehicles. Keys Automotive, located at 623 Arco Lane in Laurel, or call Charles Keys at 601-649-0517.
Hey, this is Joi Jones, defensive end for the Northeast Jones Tigers. Thank you for listening to NEJ Tiger Talk, brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC.
And welcome back to the broadcast. You're listening to NEJ Tiger Talk, brought to you by Scenic Productions, LLC, and powered by Southeastern Baptist College and Keys Automotive Service in Laurel, as well as Flicka's Tax Service in Taylorsville. Now, before the break, we heard from NEJ Principal Joi Jones. Now we turn our attention to our Week 7 player of the game, defensive end, the senior defensive end, Joi Jones. Well, Joi, how's it going today, man?
It's going good.
All right, now go ahead and get this thing on the road. So for starters, great job on your performance against the Rangers in the division opener. Now, as you were constantly in the Rangers' backfield, what do you feel was the main factor in your defensive dominance? Was the old lineman just unable to keep contained, or was it the defensive scheme, or what did you feel it was just your technique or a combination of all three?
I would say it was a combination of all three, but mainly my technique. My defensive coach, Coach Cochran, he's been making sure we've been shooting our hands and getting first level and stuff. And then Coach Braddock, the week of the game, we've just been working a lot on breaking down and stuff. So I feel like that helped a lot with me getting through the line real quick. Coach Cochran's always on me about my speed. He's always telling me to move faster and faster, no matter how fast I'm going. He's always saying going faster. So I think it was because I was able to get to the line quick and just break down and see what was going on in the backfield to execute the play.
Indeed. When you say break down, that looks like indeed what happened, because, you were giving that tackle fits all night. I was thinking not to be mean or anything, but just from what I observed, maybe the guy was just too slow. I'm like, does he know that he had a defensive end in front of him? I'm like, the way you just shot in the backfield several times, you were in the backfield way more than their running back was. So, hey, man, you played lights off of whatever you did in practice or whatever it was, man, just keep it up. And so it seems the key word on Friday was consistency. I noticed there was consistency on both sides of the ball against the Rangers, as the defense was constantly coming up with stops, consistently forced 3-and-outs, and consistently forced turnovers. And let's not forget the offense, who consistently generated first downs. So at this point in the season, when it really matters, how important do you feel it is for the Tigers to maintain that consistency throughout division play?
I think it's really important, not just in a game to contain consistency, but just in practice, in the weight room, in the film room, just to make sure we're doing everything we need to do in order to get better that week. Just stay consistent in that.
Okay. Now, considering your dad has an extensive background in sports on the high school and the collegiate level, do you use that to your advantage to get advice on things regarding the game?
When I first started playing football, I feel my dad, he really showed me some stuff that I use now, but I feel like I've molded into my own player, my own type of player.
Okay. Hey, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that. You growing as a child growing up, they develop eventually. They're raised a certain way, but they eventually develop into their own personality. So just having that model citizen in your dad to rear you up, you still have developed your own style of play. Like I said, there's definitely nothing wrong with that as long as it's in a positive way. And I know coming from you, it is definitely that. Now, Principal Patera, the same question for you in reverse. Talk about the advice and words of wisdom that you've given Joi over the years regarding being a model citizen, a leader on and off the field, and the importance of maintaining good grades, playing on the collegiate level, and all that comes along with being an athlete.
I just try to tell them, especially like in the classrooms, in the hallways, that you always want to be remembered for that person that walked the hallway, what type of person it'll be, a good person, a good citizen. Whatever you do, work hard in it, whether it's in the classroom and on the football field. Give everything the same amount of, I would say, 100% effort when you're doing something. So you always give everything your best. And I think he's done that a lot, especially in the classroom. He has a great GPA. He's done pretty good with the ACT scores, because you're always going to have your academics you want to fall back on, because one day you're going to stop playing football, and once you get that paperwork with your degree, college degree, that's always going to be there. But with your body, you're not going to be able to run as fast as you can when you was 18, especially when you get 40. Trust me, I know now that I don't run that fast, but I really stress education for him, and it's something that he can do, and he's a great student athlete.
That's good to hear. Well, it's always positive that, you guys have that, relationship and that common factor where you can, have that thing, that part of your relationship that brings you closer together or helps maintain your closeness. Well, that brings us